What's up, guys? They're from Yugioh, South America, and today we're gonna talk about this image I found on Dark Magician Sanctuary. It's a Facebook group about Dark Magician duelists and fans. And here we have something interesting. We have here an image teaching people how to build a proper Dark Magician deck. I've been playing as Dark Magician for the consecutive 5 years, way before these new supports, way before that. And I can tell this image is correct at some point, and we're gonna discuss it here. So it says step 1: gather the core, Dark Magician, Rod, Circle, Eternal Soul, etc., etc. Well, this is actually the real core of the deck. Dark Magician, Rod, and Circle are the must-have in the deck. If you don't have this three set of cards, it's not a Dark Magician deck. Also, Eternal Soul really is an awesome card to be on a deck, but I recommend to put the Eternal Soul if you have Dragon Knight. If you can fusion summon that Dragon Knight, adding Eternal Soul is a must. But if you can't add the Eternal Soul, if you can't add the Dragon Knight and you want to add Eternal Soul, you just it's gonna be like a major vulnerable card in your deck. So you better run maybe Navigation instead. The reason of that because Eternal Soul has a mission drawback. If it is destroyed, if it leaves the field, destroy all your monsters, not just Dark Magician, all your monsters. So it's a real bad drawback. Of course, you can special summon Dark Magician once per turn, add a Dark Magic attack or 1000 Knives, but I don't know why people would run that card on the deck. And I also grants your Dark Magician's immunity to all effects. So it's a really good card, but it has this drawback, which is, of course, being destroyed and destroy all your monsters. That is covered with the Dark Magician Dragon Knight, which protects the Eternal Soul. But as I said, if you run the Dark Magician Dragon Knight, you put 3 Eternal Souls. If you don't run it, just put one card, one Eternal Soul, and you're good. And put the other 3 Magician's Navigation, because Navigation is a far better card for the summoning process, because you can special summon one Dark Magician from your hand and another Dark Spellcaster from your deck. You can special summon another Dark Magician if you want, or Dark Magician Girl, Apprentice Illusion. Also, you can negate a spell or trap if the navigation is in your graveyard 1 turn after it was used, and if you still have one Dark Magician on the field. So, Dark Magician navigation, it's only good. It doesn't have any drawback. Besides, you need to have a Dark Magician from your hand, which is not very difficult if you run multiple copies of Apprentice Illusion, or you have one Illusion Magic. But the main core is pretty much it: Dark Magician, Rod, Circle, Eternal Soul, and or Navigation. These are the main cards you must have in your Dark Magician deck. So we're going to the step 2, which is adding consistency stuff. And this could be translated, because it said adding consistency stuff. Well, actually, that's the problem. Consistency is making things cohesive, making things not unstable. And if you're running a Dark Magician deck, consistency would be adding more Dark Magician cards, so they can search each other. They work together with each other. But it's not what he meant. But for what he said here, Pod, Spellbooks, Upstardom, the guy who made this image clearly meant adding draw power. That is his concept of consistency. and is not totally wrong because adding draw power really makes your deck run faster. But the correct term is step 2, add draw power. And we have good draw powers engine tiers. We have pots, which I don't like, but if you want pot of duality or pot of desires, it is good, but I don't like those. I used to use a pot of duality back then, but then I realized that it kind of locks you because you can special summon on the turn you use it, and with Apprentice Illusion that is a must-have. You must special summon that Apprentice Illusion to add your Dark Magician to your hand as soon as you can. So duality is a no-go if you're running multiple Apprentice Illusion copies, and the spell the Pot of Desires is something that I don't use. I don't like it, but if you do like it, suit yourself. But the spell books, in other hands, I use the spellbook engine, and I perfectly feel it's a good way to add draw power to Dark Magician, because you can with Spellbook of Knowledge you can discard one spellbook from your hand, which is better, one spellbook card, or tribute one spellcaster. So you can tribute your Dark Magician, add 2 cards to your hand, special summon with Eternal Soul. You can normal summon your Rod, add the card you want to your hand, and then tribute it and draw 2 more cards. Or you can special summon the Blue Boy, the Spellbook of Prophecy, Spellbook of Prophecy, and add the knowledge to your hand, and then use the knowledge to draw more cards. It's a sweet combination. Or you can use the Spellbook of Secrets and add a Spellbook of Prophecy or Knowledge. So personally, the Spellbook engine works better because if you draw one Spellbook of Magician or Spellbook of Secrets, you can add the Knowledge easy breezy and draw the card you want. Draw more cards, 2 more cards. Also, there's a 4th part to this combo, which almost nobody talks about, but I want to talk about this one because it's very good. It's the link for the to the spellbook, which is Crowley, the beginning prophecy, which you special you link summon it, and you can excavate 3 different cards of spellbook, and then have your opponent randomly choose one to add to your hand. So it's also a good combo extender for the spellbook engine, and helps to draw more of that sweet draw. Helps to add more draw power for that sweet Dark Magician deck. And also the other stuff he mentioned here, it's Upstart, which is a good card. It's not bad, but it's kind of a little bit expensive, so these days you must consider that. If the card is too much expensive for your pocket, that's a no-go. So these are very valid additions for the draw power on Dark Magician, but a more consistent draw power for the Dark Magician is Magician Soul, because it adds draw power. You can discard one spell trap from your hand and draw more cards. You can discard a card that you already have on the field. You don't need multiple copies of the same card on the field, and you can add more draw power. So Magician Soul is kind of going to substitute the spellbook engine on my deck when it comes out, sort of, a little bit, but it will. Because it is a draw power and it is already a Dark Magician card. So personally, I think it is better. And also, people don't use it for draw power. People use it more for the summoning condition, which is good. And it just proves how broken is the Magician Soul card. But it is also viable draw power. Probably better than Pot of Desire and Pot of Duality. Then we have the step 3, add counters, traps, hand traps, stuff for your opponent, etc. And man, this is so true. Even after I started adding counter traps, Solemn Judgment, Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning, that really helped me stop some combos from my opponents, and this is viable. And there are people that really love hand traps like the Ash Blossom, but they're easily countered with Called by the Grave. It is not a bad situation because you really have to hold that card to counter it, but the counter traps are better for negating stuff because only a counter trap to counter another counter trap. So I personally think the counter traps are better, even though they consume lots of life points, which is bad for some reason. You don't want to use too much counter traps because your life points is going to be draining faster. Adding stuff for your opponent, it is good stuff to add stuff against your opponent, but then that should go on the side deck. A good viable option as a side deck would be Village. Village of Spellcaster is a must go on the Dark Magician side deck, and I don't know, maybe you want to add that Dark Paladin as a side card, because who knows, maybe you'll be fighting against a heavy dragon deck, and the Paladin can attack against dragons, so it's a good card for going to side deck. Maybe I used to use the Paladin on my main deck, on my main extra deck, but since recently dragon decks were not appearing as often, at least on the region I live, I took it out, the Dark Paladin. But I heard that Guard Dragons are coming back, so maybe it's a good thing to put your dark Paladin on your main extra deck. I don't know. That depends on the current meta, where the cards live, how are the players on the region you live, and if you follow these rules, you're gonna build a consistent Dark Magician deck, because adding to accelerate your deck. Another counter is a must-go in every single deck, not just Dark Magician, every deck. But tell in the comments, but in an organized way, because the last time I posted a Dark Magician video here, there were tons and tons of comments. I couldn't read them all yet because there were so many people complaining if Iotimize is better than the new fusion card for the Dark Magician. That's a conversation for another day. I know many people are discussing that, but I haven't tried them out yet. I will eventually, because they're probably updating some Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro with the cards that not even came out in Japan, and people are already talking about the card and she's better than the other card. Boy, just for Konami to see how Dark Magician is very popular. So thanks for watching, and if you like, please subscribe. Please subscribe, man. There were tons of views, and people are not subscribing. Please subscribe, man. You don't know how that would help me a lot. And make sure to click on the bell notification, and tell me what's your favorite build of Dark Magician, because I'm gonna test them all. I'm a Dark Magician duelist, and I love to play as Dark Magician ever since the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh! So thanks for watching, and until next time, mon ami.